You are listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today that this will be like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. It'll be greatly appreciated, and thanks for joining us today. I want to talk about that leadership is a marathon and not a sprint. Now, true confession is that I have neither run many sprints and have never run a marathon, but I know folks who have, and I think there are some lessons that we can learn. Leadership is for the long haul. Leadership is not all going to be plain to us what we have done and what things have improved in moments, minutes, days, and hours. As a matter of fact, it may be indeed exceedingly difficult to be able to see that you have actually accomplished something. So therefore, keep your eye on the prize, but know that you aren't going to solve your leadership problem tomorrow either. Maybe not even this week or this year. But don't give up. Keep at it, keep pushing, and keep working toward the goal. Remember, you're in this for the long haul. So what is it going to take to finish the marathon and to understand what are some of the signposts along the way in the marathon of leadership that I'm involved with? Well, the very first thing that you need to take into consideration is you have to prepare. You can't wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to run a marathon today. There takes all kinds of preparation. Same thing with being a leader. You can't get out of bed one morning and say, I'm going to be a leader today. It takes preparation. It takes being faithful right where you are. Someone has said that marathon is not really about the marathon. It's about the shared struggle. And it's not only the marathon, but it's the training. And I would say that's true of leadership. It's not just making decisions and doing leadership kinds of things. It's all that goes into your preparation that makes you the effective leader that you desire to be. The temptation, they say, for marathon runners is to cut corners. And I'm thinking that for leaders, there is that same temptation. And the temptation that you are going to be tempted to take, the corner you're going to be tempted to take, is to not put the time in, the repetitions, and the preparation. Every day is an audition. Every day is a day of preparation. Your goal should be to be better tomorrow and the day after tomorrow than you are right now. Make sure you focus, understanding that leadership is a marathon, on preparation. The second thing that you have to understand as you view life and leadership as a marathon is, again, the folks didn't just wake up one day, start running marathons that day, the 26.2 mile race. What they do is they begin to practice. They begin running sprints. They begin trying to build their endurance. The same thing for leadership. You are a leader wherever you are today. You may say, no one sees me as a leader. No one listens to my voice or even my opinion. The fact is, practice. You can become leader of a Sunday school class. You can become leader of some volunteer community at work. You can take on a project that has a very specific set of guidelines and a very short shelf life. And you can begin to practice leadership principles. No one just started at the head of a Fortune 500 company. It started way back there somewhere, 26.2 miles ago, as they began to practice leadership principles. And you can do that. Don't wait till you become a leader. Start taking the proper actions today. The third thing that is always evident in a marathon runner and how it correlates to leadership is it's a matter of perspective. Someone said everything that you want to know about yourself you can learn in 26.2 miles. It helps you understand who you are and how very, very hard it is. And even when there are setbacks or unforeseen things happen that keep us from doing a couple of the things or some of the items we had on our list, keep your life in perspective. You're in this for the long haul. There have been years where there have been wonderful things accomplished in my work and life, and there have been other years which seemed, as I was going through them, as total disasters. One thing you get when you realize you're in this for the long haul, you're in this for a marathon, it's not a sprint, it gives you perspective. Everyone stubs their toe. Everyone takes a wrong turn. Everyone has a bad day, a bad week. Everyone at times stumble, stagger, trip, and fall. You're not the only person. You're not being picked on. You're not being singled out for trouble. Just gain perspective. I may not have been able to have gotten accomplished what I wanted to get accomplished today, but it does not make me a loser, and it doesn't mean I throw up my hands and just give up and quit. It's a matter of perspective. Everyone has a bad day. Everyone has an off day. Everyone faces unforeseen circumstances and difficulties. We must keep everything in perspective. And a part of that perspective for you, leader, is to realize you didn't sign up for a sprint. You signed up for a marathon. The fourth thing that I think correlates between leadership and understanding a marathon runner is, for all marathon runners, they tell me there comes a point in the race when they want to give up. They hurt. They're struggling. And there is that temptation to say, you know, I've done better than most people. Why don't I just stop? But they have to push through the wall. As a leader, there are going to be times you have to push through the walls. I'm not telling you this because I've read this in some book. I'm telling you this because I've experienced it. There have been times when I thought, I can't go on. I'm not going to make it. Perhaps I need to find another vocation. Perhaps I need to do something different. But I stuck with it, and I pushed through the walls. I pushed through the walls. And you're going to have to do that. Everyone's not going to agree with you. There are going to be people who are very vocal in their disagreements with you. There are going to be people who challenge you. There are going to be circumstances you're going to be involved with as a leader in which you do not know intuitively or even from your knowledge bank what you exactly should do. You have to find the answer. You have to seek the answer. And when you face that emotional exhaustion, this is why you need to take care of yourself, is remember the marathon runner. And if you're going to be a leader, you're going to have to learn how to push through walls. The fifth thing that I would say about leadership as a marathon is, remember in this race of life to take care of yourself. Don't ignore your health. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally. Shore up the relationships that are most vital and important with your spouse, your children, your grandchildren. Make sure you take care of yourself. Don't get so focused on the race that you forget the racer. Don't get so focused on leadership issues that you forget to take care of yourself as the leader. The sixth thing that I want to say about leadership as a marathon is, you get better by doing leadership. You get better by running than you do by talking about it or just reading books on running. You get better at leading by leading, not just reading great literature on leadership and books on leadership. You get better by doing. Remember, life is hard. Leadership is hard. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would be doing it. And you are where you need to be. Get better by doing it. Stay in the arena, stay in the game, keep seeking to get better. The seventh thing that I would say about life and leadership as a marathon is marathon runners are continually seeking to learn new and better techniques and ways of running the race. As a leader, you should be learning. You can learn in lots of ways. I mean, there's formal education, and that's certainly a part of it. But what have you learned after you received a degree? Are you a self-starter in learning? Are you reading? Are you listening? Are you talking to people? Are you looking at your past experiences and saying, what can I learn from the experiences of leadership? That leads me to the eighth thing as well in leadership as a marathon runner, and that is reflection. There was a time that I held a position which involved a lot of travel, a lot of speaking. And one of the things that I discovered that was a missing component in all of the running around and all of the trying to meet the deadlines and do the things that were a part of this responsibility is I really missed the thinking time, or what I would more properly say today, reflecting time. Don't allow your schedule to get so crowded that you do not have the time, nor that you take the time to actually reflect on your circumstance, reflect on what you're going through, reflect on the lessons that you are learning. Great experiences are wonderful, but to reflect on them for both lessons, positive as well as negative, is indispensable for a long-term runner, like a marathon runner, and for a leader who's in it for the long haul. I would say number 9, find a training partner. Most marathon runners have running buddies, someone who runs with them and helps them, maybe pushes them a little bit. Find somebody that you have camaraderie with and confidence in, and you really believe in them, and see if they're willing to be your partner. See if they're really wanting to help you and you to help them. It just seems that you can be a mutual source of encouragement, and you can share your reflections, and there'll be a lot of experiences and even reflections that they have about things that you never really thought about. So it is indispensable. Isolation, not much good happens. Now, I'm not talking about getting away by yourself for prayer and reflection and trying to do better. I'm all for that periodically. But if you live in isolation, not much good is going to come out of that. You really do need to hang around with other folks who are trying to accomplish the same things you're trying to accomplish. The 10th and last one that I want to mention is that a marathon is a big goal, 26.2 miles, but you only reach it one step at a time, one pace at a time. So in order to run a marathon, it's a big goal, like I said, 26.2 miles, but I understand that marathon runners break that down into smaller goals. They try to time segments of the race, and they set goals for themselves. I think this is very appropriate in the area of leadership. It's not just enough to have long-term goals, as significant and important as they are. You need to have small, even daily goals along the way, ways and areas where you're seeking to get better. Remember that leadership is a journey, not just the destination. It's not just the 26.2 miles. It's the entire journey. And life and leadership, it is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a process and not just an outcome. It's not just enough to win the race and to finish the race. It's, did we do our best along the way? My leadership friend, you have been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust for you today it's been like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a written review. It will enable others to locate this podcast. Remember, my leadership friends, you're in this for the long haul. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And always remember, my friend, you are doing better than you think you are. You are making a difference. You really are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.